So, last week we talked about forming relationships, and this week we're talking about the healing of hurt. Now, this kind of, for me, brought up some stuff, and I was like, oh, should I do the healing of hurt? Yes. You know, I recently lost my father a month ago, and to say it's all been just easy is a lie. It's been difficult. There's been times that, you know, grief is an interesting experience, and it comes up when it comes up. And you got to kind of handle it when it comes up. But that helped me with my talk today. Hurt and its pain are very much part of the human experience and a byproduct of human emotions and of relationships. Sometimes we get hurt. When something hurts us and we have pain in our physical bodies, pain is there to remind us that we're in danger, that something is wrong. If we just mask the hurt with aspirin or painkillers or a drink or fill in the blank, shopping, we're not addressing the root of the problem, are we? We're covering up the pain so we don't feel it. We need to get back to the cause of what the pain is showing us. Something is hurting, and we need to get to the root of it, because there's not enough aspirin to constantly take aspirin for a headache if there's something else that's causing the headache. Sometimes it's just a headache and you can take aspirin, but if it's a chronic pain, we need to address what the root of that pain is, right? So it's the same in our metaphysical bodies, in our bodies of affairs, that sometimes we get hurt when something happens. It may not be a pain like a scratch or a broken arm, but sometimes we have a broken heart. We've all experienced that. We didn't get here without having our heart maybe bent just a little bit, right? Maybe something happened to you, or somebody said something to you, and that it hurt you. It cut you to the quick. Now, maybe we said, I don't have to take that. I don't have to take that from anybody. Well, if you're saying it like that, you've probably taken it. You know what I mean? We have to say it like this. That's not mine. I don't have to take that. I don't have to take that into my consciousness. It's not mine. If someone offers you a gift and you don't take it, to whom does the gift belong? Think about it. To them. So if someone offers the criticism of you and you decide not to take it, who does the criticism belong? Just an observation so that we don't get hung up on, now there's constructive criticism. You know, if somebody's saying, hey, you know, you'd really be a better speaker if, or maybe you want to, you know, you're washing cars, maybe if you hit the hubcaps a couple times. You know, constructive criticism is different, right? Then you don't know what you're doing, right? So emotional pain is the same way. If we don't deal with the cause behind the pain, it tends to resurface in inappropriate ways and at inappropriate times. You ever find yourself upset with someone for no real reason? You ever been in a fight with somebody on the phone, and then after you got off the phone, you attacked somebody because you took the energy of one situation into another? Maybe you put the pain down, you swallowed it, What happens when we do that is it comes out when we least expect it. You'll find yourself at the grocery store cursing at the avocados. Why are there no ripe avocados? People are just, wow, what's wrong with that? But it happens. we boil over in other areas because we have encapsulated a pain from one area instead of dealing with it, instead of letting it out, letting it go. There's a term called HALT. Are you hungry, angry, lonely, or tired? Hold it. Go take a nap and eat a sandwich and we'll talk. Really. Usually after you've done one of those things, you're in a better mind space, aren't you? We all have a history of times when we've experienced a challenging situation and been hurt. It happens. It's part of what happens when we walk through life. The loss of a relationship or the disappointment of some sort is because of our attachment to a desired outcome. Maybe we're mourning the loss of someone dear to us. And it happens. It's part of the human experience, but we need to continue walking. So we cannot maintain this storehouse of hurt and expect to maintain health and happiness in our lives. So let's look at things from a metaphysical point of view. They've said that arthritis and the pain associated with it has been called bottled hurt. When people push it down, it comes out in physical ways. Sometimes it's been said that dis-ease is the body's way of handling something that we should metaphysically be healing. That instead of dealing with it and talking about it, it gets suppressed and the cells of the body go wild trying to fix it, and it comes up as a disease. This is just an observation. This is a metaphysical approach to healing dis-ease. Once the ease is relieved, the messenger has been listened to and the challenge may go away. It's just an observation. Hurt in the body might indicate pain within the mind. Just a metaphysical observation. There is a mind-body connection we're finding, I think. That when we start to handle things, when we go through therapy, when we have spiritual mind treatment, things that used to surface in our body are handled, and we don't have the pain anymore. This is how we work through our challenges, right? We must find a way to release our hurt in a positive and constructive way. You know, the word resentment, I see you elbowing your friend. Resentments, think about that word. It comes from the word to resense or re-feel our pain over and over and over again. Resensing, resentment. Reminds me of the story of the people who are in line for a memory course, and the person behind is overhearing these people talk, and they say, what's her name did this to me, and I'm so upset with her. And the other person says, well, why don't you just forget that? Why don't you just let that go? She goes, I'm never going to forget what she did to me. Here they are in line at a memory course. She's chronically remembering too much of the wrong things. We need to develop a good forgettery. Our memory is chronically too good. So good that it's causing us to hold on to our bottled pains. We need to let go of that stuff. Just release it. Go out and, as my dad would say, go out and kick the trash can, man. Don't take it out on us. Go out and kick the trash can if you're ticked off at something. Go out and do something physical. Go out and run. Go out and play tennis. Go out and jog. Do it. Get it out of your system. You know what I'm saying? Go out and sing. Go play music. Do what you do physically to work out the mental challenges. It's just like if you have a pet, training a dog. There's a sport dog. Go out and run them for 5 or 6 miles a day, and then they will come home and sleep and not chew your furniture. I mean, it's just, we got to think these things through, right? So we lose control over our feelings and become controlled by the ravishing effects of the pain. Is your life being shaped by your memory of hurt and pain? And my life was. At one point, that was how I lived my life, by what happened to me, and I couldn't wait to find the next person to talk about it with. And soon my friends started falling away. I mean, my mailman wouldn't deliver mail because I would tell him about what happened to me. He'd wait until I wasn't there because no one else would listen to me. And my practitioner friend said, "You can only tell that story one more time and then no more talk of it." I was like, what? What am I going to talk about? I was very silent after that for several weeks, but I got what they were talking about, is that if I keep telling the story over and over again, if energy flows where our attention goes, and I'm pointing at a challenge, what's my attention on? The challenge. I'm holding it in place, saying, I want this away from me. I want it away, but I'm going to hold it. I'm going to get fingerprints in it, teeth marks. Acknowledge it's there. We don't deny that it's there. We just turn to what we do want. Turn into what you do want. What is the love that you're seeking? Because it's not out there somewhere. It's in here. Turn within. Turn back inside yourself. So we lose control over our feelings and become controlled by the ravaging effects of the pain up to a point. How do we handle this hurt and the pain associated with it? And more importantly, how do we release this hurt and this pain? How do we finally let it all go? I'm going to take you on a brief imaging experience now. Close your eyes if that's comfortable for you, or take a soft focus on something in the room. And imagine that I'm giving each one of you a slip of paper and a pen. And maybe for some of you who need a notebook to write down all of your challenges, go ahead and take a notebook and write down all of your pains, all of your sorrows, all of your hurts, everything that has happened to you, and pour it into that piece of paper or into that notebook. Let's just take a second and imagine yourself writing everything out. Writing it all down. Getting out of your head and onto the paper. Okay. Come on back now. Come on back into this room. It's now on that piece of paper. It's now in that little notebook. What if I were to stand before you right now and have you give me your notebook or your piece of paper? And in doing so, it would release completely all the pain, all the sorrow, the whole situation, and it would release it in such a complete way that you would not even remember what the situation was that happened. We would be removing this completely from your experience. Think about that. Now, when I first heard this idea, a part of me said, no, don't take my pain away. It's my pain. I kind of, I was harboring that pain, it was kind of my pain. Think about it. We are wrestling for our limitations. Okay? Don't take my pain away. It's part of me. If I can't have what I want, I can have the challenge of not having it. It's called substitutionary fulfillment. Think about it. How many times have we been upset about something, so we substituted something else for it? That's when I reached for outside things. Overindulgence. So what do? We get hurt because we're hurtable. we have set up traps for ourselves by expecting others to act in a certain way. We become hurtable. And it happens. But we must be conscious that we're doing that. We need to detach from the expectations we have on others. Be attached to the journey of the experience that you're having with others. That's where the learning is. The experience is in the journey. And when your relationship with that individual has brought you everything and everything for them that it is supposed to, it goes away. When the student is ready, the teacher appears. And when the lesson has been learned, the teacher disappears and a new one takes its place. Right? You ever had that experience? This is why people come and go in our lives. And some people stay in our lives. You know, family is, we decided before we got here they were going to stay our teachers the whole life, Okay. How's that working for you? Sometimes we may feel completely insane because of the hurt we feel. And this temporary insanity happens when we are not in control of our feelings. Oopsie. Our feelings of hurt may be so strong that they take control of our life. And this is truly insanity. Whoopsie. Whenever we are not in control of our feelings, we need to take a time out and regain our control. Right? I mean, we've been insane. I mean, it happens. But we must regain our sanity by spiritual mind treatment, by reconnecting with our source, putting our energy on what we believe created us, thinking about our breath is our connection, and letting go of everything else. Because that, my friends, is your truth. Your connection to spirit. What is the power that is beating your heart right now? Nobody can tell me. The scientists can't figure it out. They've dissected everything, and it's a muscle that does this thing. What makes that muscle do that thing? Love, my friends, is the glue that holds this universe together. Love is the magic elixir. Love. My dad used to tell me, don't go to a bank that does not carry 50-cent pieces and ask them for 50-cent pieces. Be like, what are you talking about? I usually was in a relationship where I didn't feel that I was getting served properly or that things weren't working out properly, right? We need to go to another bank or look for what we are looking for within ourselves rather than to try to find it from another person. But that's energy for another talk, okay? That's a whole other day. But don't try to teach a pig to sing, okay? It wastes your time and it annoys the pig, right? What I'm saying is, be okay with what you are. What someone is not should never be part of your experience. Or you can say it this way, are you barking up the wrong tree? Hanging on to pain that doesn't belong to you? We have all had opportunities to feel things through relationships. And we can take the lessons we've learned and move on and say thank you. Or we can take the energy of them leaving and turn that into a lifelong crusade to punish ourselves. It's up to us. It's up to us. We get to decide that. And I'm not pointing fingers. I'm talking about what I've walked through. And when I realized this stuff, and by the way, some of this information is from a Unity minister by the name of Eric Butterworth. Incredible consciousness. And when I started to hear these ideas, I was like, man, I had to listen to this stuff over and over to get it, to figure it out. And that's why I'm presenting it to you. And I present it every year during this time because it's so important. You may have heard this talk before, but I do a little extra spin you can never give the same talk twice. So, okay, for all you advanced students, here's a zinger. I know you're out there. You know who you are. As a student of truth, the power that goes with our divine potential is only ours when we act the part. Ouch. Oh. You mean when I'm at the supermarket too? Like when I'm driving? So I run everything through a filter, a positive detector. I have this force field, and only the good stuff can get in, and the bad stuff bounces off. If it's not positive, it doesn't get in. I let go if it's not positive. Just like Tai Chi. You move around the energy. You let it go. You don't become the problem. If you become the problem, then you have to find the solution. Just don't become the problem. Easier said than done. Try Tai Chi. There is an art to it. It's in moving energy around, right? So you are not hurt. Standing there with a sign. My new name is Hurt. I'm hurt. See? Hurt. Me. Hurt. No. You're a person experiencing hurt feelings. And this too shall pass. It's part of the human experience. It has brought exactly what is needed for your moving forward. Let it go. Let it be done. The great need is to know yourself for who and what you truly are. You are God in form. You always have been. You always will be. God, God, God. Now, you're not all that God is. If I stood up here and say, I am God, and you're not, that's not right. I am all God. Every cell of my being, just like you, every cell of your being is all God. It can be no other way. So everything is God. Let go of your pain and walk on. So let's take a second and go back into our imaging experience. So close your eyes for just a second and imagine your notebook or your piece of paper. Hold it in your hand and decide if you're really, really willing to let go once and for all of this hurt and this pain. And if you're not really ready right now, it's okay. Maybe you want to take it home and have a little cry with it before you actually let it go. And that's good. That's healthy. That's okay. Crying is the elixir that washes away the pain. But when you're ready, let's imagine that we're in a circle right now, and in the center of this circle is a large urn with a fire. And when you're ready, imagine one by one we're led to go to the center and drop our piece of paper or our notebook into the urn. And by dropping this in, we are releasing the energy of that hurt and that pain. Just imagine that each one of us is slowly walking up and dropping in our pieces of paper or notebooks. And in the center, this great fire, this great transformation is happening for each one of us as we walk back without our piece of paper or our notebook and return to the circle. Soon the fire has become a great blaze. How fresh and clean we all feel after releasing this burden of pain and hurt. We let go as we let God. Okay, let's bring ourselves back into this room, feeling enlightened and released by that pain and that hurt. So, in conclusion, are you ready? Are you ready to be happy, joyous, and free?
Yes.
Yes. If not, why not? Just asking. Maybe you want to do some inner work, some self-work, or call a practitioner or somebody to help you work through that stuff. I don't mean to minimize some deep or emotional, psychological open wound that some of us may be harboring, that maybe has been festering for lifetimes. But at some point, we must all become willing to transform our challenges into triumphs, our stumbling blocks into stepping stones, and our highway to hell to a stairway to heaven. And so it is. So it's time to follow our teaching and have a little prayer. So let's just bring ourselves to center and closing your eyes if that's comfortable, or a soft focus on the candles. Let's remember who we are. So I invite you to bring your attention to what you believe the energy of creation is for you. Christ consciousness, Jesus the Christ, source energy, goddess, Great Spirit. It's all the same. There is a power. It lives in your seat. It moves life with your hands, and it breathes with your body, for it is beating your heart. You and the power that created you are one and the same. And that love that loves itself so much that out of that love, it has created you to experience love in the style and manner of your choosing, has brought you to this moment. And transformation is occurring. Each one of us is loved. Whatever you may be walking through, and I may not know what it is, but I know that God knows. I know that God is now activated in your situation. That there is an answer, there is a healing, there is a way. And I know that that way is revealed to you in a way that is identifiable, obvious, and gentle and loving. So I give great thanks for these healings, these revealings of the truth, for these ideas of love that have been brought up today and continue to work through our consciousness in a way that allow us to love in a greater way this week, this month, this year, this lifetime. For something wonderful is happening by means of each one of us, and we give great thanks for that. Thank you, divine, loving presence of all that is. And I claim it and anchor it with love right here as I put these ideas directly into the living, loving law of mind, where they are transformed by the renewing of our consciousness as we let go. As we completely let go of this treatment into that divine law, because it is already done. As we affirm this together by saying, and so it is.